Hello doctors, and in this video we're going to be going in depth into bases, and this is going to be the base guide that I believe I promised some time ago, but failed to deliver, mainly because the Ancient Forge event came on. So then I sort of postponed the video to make time to talk about the event itself, and also I did a video on the actual banner and whether or not you should pull on those banners, so feel free to check out those videos. But now that we've finished out those videos, I do want to get back to making those beginner guides, so let's jump right into bases. So bases are something that you're going to be introduced to in the tutorial. By no means will you be a level 46 and just starting your base, yeah, definitely apologies for that. This video should have came way earlier. I've actually have my base pretty well developed right now, but even if you aren't at this stage in the game, you're on a fresh account, and you're just getting to the part where they're introducing bases. Your base won't be as developed, but you can definitely still follow this guide along. So I would say that there's really four main aspects to the base. There's the control center, the middle center, and then the right and left sections of your base. And we're going to start with the control center because that's just going to be unlocked for you automatically. The control center will automatically display its current level, so you'll probably start off, you'll definitely start off at level 1, and there are a few things that matter about your control center. The first one we're going to talk about is the base assistant. You'll automatically be able to set a control center assistant and a B1 assistant right from the get-go, since these two slots will be unlocked with your base. The other 3 slots will be unlocked over time as you do certain missions that will grant you keels and allow you to upgrade your control center, thereby letting you go further down into the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors of your base. As you do those, you'll be able to assign operators to be assistants for those floors. These operators, there's really nothing that they do in terms of providing bonuses to your base, but what they do get in return for being an assistant is you can collect trust from them twice a day. You can actually see that I have this 5 trust, and that is going to account for these 5 units. And so trust is obviously important because you can, the base is pretty much the only way outside of actual combat that you're going to be able to develop trust with your operators. And up until level 100 or 100%, trust will increase some stats for your operator. After 100%, you will no longer get stats, but they're still going to be useful for unlocking some flavor text. You can see that trust is one of the requirements that you will need in order to unlock said text. So any operator that you want to get immediately to either 100% or 200%, I recommend putting as your base assistant so that you can get that bonus extra trust. The other thing you'll be able to do is assign operators to your base itself. The operator count will increase as your base gets larger, and there are a few notable things that you benefits that you can get from putting operators in here. One thing to note is that all operators provide some kind of bonus to a specific facility within the base, and placing that operator in that facility will just sort of improve some function within that facility. So whenever you click on the operator section for a facility, the game will automatically sort you the most useful operators for said facility. So in the control center, Amiya's ability is quite useful, which increases the efficiency of trading posts. This is an ability that you'll mainly get from operators like Amiya, and Swire is the other one that also really I know has this ability off the top of my head. A lot of the other assistants will mainly just focus on decreasing morale of operators within the control center. And Reed here, you'll notice, doesn't actually provide anything. I just stuck her in here just so that she's doing something, and therefore getting trust, because your operators will be able to collect trust once per day for just like working within a facility. And so even if an operator doesn't provide a bonus for a specific facility, they'll still be able to, one, keep that facility running if that's a requirement for something like factories or trading posts. And two, they'll just be able to get trust off of working that facility, even if they aren't actively even if they don't have some special bonus for that facility. Next, we're going to discuss the dormitories, which are all built directly under the control center. One per floor, obviously. And the dormitories are basically where your operators will go to rest and recharge their morale. Dormitories can hold up to 5 people, and there are operators that will improve the rate that your operators recover. Specifically, you're going to look for operators that will increase the morale of all units, but there are some that just like either do themselves or do any like other operator that isn't at full max morale. So the way this is going to work is that your operators will regenerate a set amount of morality based on the level of your dorm. The dorms are unique in that they can go up to level 5. Most facilities within your base can only go up to 3. At level 5, they will provide a flat +2 to the recovery rate of your operators per hour. In addition to that, at level 5, dorms can reach a maximum ambiance of 5,000, which will also give them another 2 points, and then anything your operators do will modify that amount. So if I remove Nightingale, you can see I just get the +4 from the level 5 base and the 5,000 in ambiance. Ambiance limits will increase by 1,000 for each level of a base. So that pretty much covers your dormitories. One thing to note, I guess, is when you build up a dormitory, you'll generally start off with just some basic furniture that'll give you 750 ambiance. You also don't need to worry too much about how your stuff looks. A lot of times I just sort of throw everything in there until I just hit some cap of ambiance. But you can get nice furnitures that have themed sets, and those themes will actually contribute to the ambiance too, which is really nice. So with that said, we're going to cover the right side of the base, just because that is pretty much set in stone in terms of what you're going to be doing. So at the very let's just start with the first floor, the workshop first, because you're going to have this developed right away as well. The workshop is important because it is going to let you build various things. In particular, in the beginning, you're going to care about these building materials, because this is how you're both going to be able to build facilities within your base, but also then improve them and increase their level. After that, you'll probably be focusing more on furniture parts, which you'll be using in order to buy custom themed sets that will increase the ambiance of your dorms, as well as later on down the road, you'll be focusing more on the upgrade materials, which you can use to then upgrade your operators' skill levels, as well as you can use them for their promotions. These are you'll be able to build more stuff dependent on the level of your workshop. But aside from that, that's pretty much going to cover the workshop. You'll also be able to transmute skills and chips and furnitures. If you have duplicate furnitures back into furniture parts. Furniture parts are of course important, like I said, for building your bases. You can even get premium furniture for furniture parts as well. So that's actually how I got this Lugman Eatery. I just saved up the nearly 65k needed, and then just bought them with furniture points. So definitely do, after you complete your base, you could just start turning your building materials into furniture parts and saving up for whenever a good piece of furniture enters the furniture store, and those generally tend to come with events. We kind of covered the reception room in pretty good detail when I did the one of the beginner guides regarding the credit store, where I mentioned the credit store and how you can use stuff in here to maximize your daily credit gains in order to buy as much stuff from the credit store. So very briefly, because I don't want to have to cover it over again, the main purpose of the reception room is going to be to gather up clues so that you can then do clue exchanges, which in turn will then allow you to get a large sum of credits. And those credits will in turn let you then just get more materials off of the credit store, which is obviously like really good and something you should do. Aside from that, the reception room does provide some nice bonuses. These are going to be passive bonuses that come from leveling up your reception room, and so those are going to be one, friend limits. Friend limits are going to be determined based off of the level of your reception room, and two, support units. So you'll start off immediately with one support section open that will allow you to hold any 5-star or lower operator, and with each level in the reception room you'll unlock another support unit, and those two can hold 6-star operators or lower. You'll want to come back here often to set your support units, as well as to like adjust any skills that you want them to use. So like don't forget to like set your skills properly, because obviously like a support unit, if one of your support units gets used, you will also get credits as well, and that was mentioned within like one of the beginner guides as well. That pretty much covers it for the reception room. A few things to note in terms of clue generation. There are operators that generate a bonus like that help you with clues, and there are operators that will also help you with very specific clues. Like Courier here will specifically help you with the Carland commercial clue, which is number 6. The other thing too is clue generation speed is also determined partially based off of an operator's rank. So if you don't have like anything that is giving you clue generation speed, or if you have something that is low, like for example like 12F here, even though he has 20%, he's still just like a 2-star operator. You're actually better off using an Elite 2 6-star operator to generate like clue to reduce your clue research speed. So yeah, operator rarity and elite level will like factor into clue research speed. Let's go down to the office. So the office is going to focus on giving you rerolls for your recruitment tool, and then it will passively give you additional recruitments. So in your recruitment tool, basically what you can do is you'll have these refreshes. Well, you won't have these refreshes at the start of the game, but once you build your reception room, you'll start being able to get refreshes. And basically what happens is if you don't like the tags that are here, you could just tap refresh and, you know, roll for another set of tags. You'll also only start the game with 2 recruitment slots, and every time you upgrade, you'll be able to get a second and a third recruitment slot. Getting a third recruitment slot in particular is at least something that you should kind of prioritize, because it will help you with completing your dailies, as one of the dailies quests daily missions does require that you use recruitment a few times. So you'll have one that gives you 1 point, and that just requires that you do 1 recruitment. The other one will give you, I believe, 2 slots, and that'll require that you do 3 recruitments. So just upgrading your office to stage 2 alone will be sufficient for you to get that, and definitely something that I think you should prioritize. The training room right now is kind of a waste of just power. I wouldn't recommend building it early. The main thing that it lets you do is it lets you focus on operator skill masteries. So basically what happens is 4-star plus units once can be promoted to Elite 2, and once they are promoted to Elite 2, if their skill is rank 7, you can actually focus on mastering the skill. Skill masteries are rather expensive since they do cost like increasing mats, but getting them up to skill mastery 3 will usually provide some large bonus. In particular, mastery 1 and mastery 3 tend to provide larger bonuses to your skills, and obviously certain skills, like for example like Silver Ashes, True Silver Slash, is something that people popularly try to get that skill to mastery 3. Blaze's second skill for the SP reduction is also quite popular, but yeah, the mastery level will be determined by the training room. One Mastery 1 at Training Room 1, Mastery 2 at Training Room 2, and then at Training Room 3 you can go all the way to Mastery 3. Additionally to that, you can also assign an operator that will help reduce the time that it takes to train the skill. And that pretty much covers it on the right side. So up until now, there's pretty much zero flexibility on what you're going to be doing. You can obviously like not build a training room early on, just until, at least until you start getting E2 units, because it's going to be a waste. But like there's really no flexibility here. You're pretty much going to be forced to have a reception room, a workshop, an office, a training room, and dormitories down the middle. Let's go on to the left side. So in the first row will pretty much be done for you as part of the tutorial. You'll have a power plant, a factory, and a trading post. After that, you can build any amount, well, up to 5 power plants, factories, or trading posts within the within your left side. You will need at least 3 fully upgraded power plants in order to power up a fully upgraded base. So that means developing everything and then getting everything to max level, which translates to level 3s on the right and left side and level 5s down the middle. That will require 3 fully leveled level 3 power plants. The rest pretty much comes down to what you want to do. So a very common setup is what I have here, which is kind of what people would call 2-4-3, or two trading posts, 4 factories, 3 power plants, and this lets you do a combination of getting gold and also getting EXP cards. So let's talk a little bit about factories first. Factories will let you do production for various mats. Pure gold is going to be one of them, and pure gold is going to work with the trading post to generate you LMD, but you can also get several other things. EXP cards are very popular choices as well, and later on when you want to get your 5 and 6 star units to Elite 2, you'll also be using them for chips. And then Iridium shards can be produced every now and then for like small amounts of Arundum with it that you can use to trade on your trading post once your trading post hits level 3. But generally speaking, most people will focus on the pure gold and the EXP cards. Obviously factories, they have a capacity. They also have operators that help them out. Operators for factories are pretty like diverse. There are some that will just increase production, such as is the case of Perfumer. There are some that will increase production but only for gold, such as is the case for Haze. There are some that'll just do Iridium, such as for example Age of Dalo is one of them. And you have all kinds of like factory buffs, but basically you're going to want to have your units put into the factory to decrease the amount of time it takes to make production. Aside from that, like I mentioned, there's also EXP cards, and there are like some units that specifically just increase EXP. So like F-Eater and Vigna do have like strictly EXP bonuses, but obviously you can also just stick any unit that like generically will increase a factory. That will definitely be beneficial. And then trading posts, like I said, are going to be for conversions. So usually you'll start off with LMD. In fact, you'll probably have LMD throughout most of the game. And those basically just let you take gold that you made from your factory and trade them straight up for LMD. This is obviously very good because you're going to want... like it's basically just passive money, and LMD is a very limiting resource just because you use it for everything. And so having... passive LMD generation is very good because that decreases the amount of times you're going to need to like farm it during the strategic resource missions. So we're talking about these supply missions. So the more passive LMD you're generating, the less of this mission you're going to have to do. And the same thing's true for EXP cards. Like just having more like passive EXP card generation will help you in not having to run this operation as like over and over again. I mean, you're still going to have to do it, but it'll reduce the amount of times that you have to do it. In terms of layout, you do have like some like options here. I know there are some people that'll run 5 factories. I've also done something different with like my other account where I've done just flat out even, like 333 of each. I did that when I had like large amounts of gold off of some event, and then I was just like, adding extra trading posts to just sort of like flush out that gold and convert it into LMD. But I think that 243 right here is something that is really good and really balanced. Generally speaking, you'll be able to develop enough gold and EXP cards, and you could just sort of switch one around here and there depending on your necessity. So like right now I believe I have like quite a bit of gold, and so I could actually probably swap another one of some of these factories into EXP. Since I have 2 of them making gold right now, I could probably swap most of them into EXP until I'm getting like low on gold. But there are a few things that you will need to worry about, and that's namely like your operators, because of like the increased amount of factories or trading posts depending on what you're doing. You might find yourself like limited in terms of operators to work those facilities. So I currently on this account have a bit of trouble with factories. Like I don't have as many factory workers as I would like to, but there are some things that you can remedy this in terms of like leveling up certain operators specifically for their factory bonuses. However, this video is kind of long. It's already over 20 minutes, so I don't want to cover that in this video. That will definitely have to go into its own video. But for now, that's pretty much everything about bases, at least like the actual bases themselves. And then I guess I'll just see you guys in the next video.